BoogeyMan band coming round the bend. Is BoogeyMan band. Is BoogeyMan band.
Hey, fellow Fright Fiends, it's your buddy BoogeyMan Ben. Hope everyone's doing well. Very impromptu video. Just sitting here in the horror zone. I'm actually just sitting on the floor here in the zone, so very different angle than most of my videos. Just kind of decompressing from my work, which is really becoming very stressful, and which I knew it was going to be. So I just thought this would kind of a cool thing to do, is just sort of chill here in the horror zone and do a video like this. Yeah, I just there's no real script to this one, and I'm just sitting here on the floor looking at stuff, and I just thought I'd share a couple things with everyone. Just like I said, just sitting here chilling. So was going through some of my books here, and just looking at some of my Salem's Lot stuff. I have a shelf here that's just all Salem's Lot stuff, and I haven't really just looked at it in a while, and just thought I'd pick up some random things and showcase them. So the first thing I'm going to showcase is this Cinema Fantastique magazine. Now, I got this in, I'm going to say 1997 at WonderCon, when WonderCon used to be in Oakland. It was at a hotel. I think it was the Marriott. I could be wrong, but it was Oakland is where WonderCon pretty much took place until, I'm going to say, I think it started to go into the city in 2003. I think was the first time it was in San Francisco. From the first WonderCon I ever went to, which was in 1994, up until 2002, it was always in Oakland. And then it started, they started having it in San Francisco at the Moscone Center. And then in, I think it was 2000, excuse me, 2011, 2012, it moved down to Anaheim, and it's been there ever since. So it's never been back up this way. But yeah, this is the Cinema Fantastique Salem's Lot magazine. This is volume 9, number 2. So this came out when the movie came out, so in 1979. And this is actually, when I got this is how I found out that the film was actually shot in Ferndale. If people have watched, I've talked about it in many videos, and it's actually something that I'm writing about in the book I'm putting together, is that I found out, you know, that Ferndale is where they shot the movie, but I had been to Ferndale like 9 years earlier in the summer of 1988 when my family and I went on a trip. We went up to Eureka. It was my cousin Jason, my uncle Erlen, my mom, my grandmother, and my grandfather. We went up there. It was right before I started high school. And when we left Eureka, we drove through Ferndale. Excuse me. We drove through Ferndale, and you know, I was just looking around because at that point I had seen Salem's Lot so many times. My dad had recorded it for me. By that time, the miniseries had become available, and it was, we had taped it off TV because it was like on TV 44, I believe, and watched it many, many times, and just started recognizing things. Even, you know, back then I was 14, and I just recognized, you know, like some of the buildings and the streets we were going down. And I just said, this looks like Salem's Lot. And my family just said, oh, no, that was shot in Maine, because the movie took place in Maine. And back then there was no IMDb. There was no Internet Movie Database. Hit Jason right here. There was no Internet Movie Database back then. So I just said, well, it's weird because this town really looks like Salem's Lot. And it was Salem's Lot, which is really crazy. But yeah, I found out about it. I'll take the magazine out, which I usually keep it sealed up, but here it is right here. And the layout, the first page is really cool. So these are some images I had never seen before, and yeah, it just says, you know, exteriors were shot in Ferndale. So it was right here, very small print. This is where I found out about it. And a year later, my girlfriend and I at the time were coming back from Oregon. My uncle Tom at the time lived in Grants Pass, Oregon, and he told us, you know, why don't you take 101 back instead of taking Highway 5? So I took 101 back, and it was a much longer ride than we had expected, because 5 is just like a straight stretch, and 101 you're going along the coast. So when we were getting, you know, to our destination, you know, getting closer and closer to like Eureka, I realized, oh, you know, Ferndale is really close, and why don't we drive through? So I drove through the town like really quickly because we were trying to get home. You know, we were both in college at the time, and I had a job, and a job that I had to go back to work the next day. And I just remember driving through the town trying to look at everything as much as possible. I didn't have a camera at the time, but And then in later years, like in 2001, my wife and I got engaged in Ferndale. In 2003, we spent our honeymoon in Ferndale. We've gone back several times since then, especially most recently for the 40th anniversary of the film, which was in 2019, October 2019, even though the movie came out on November 17th of 1979. They celebrated it on October 18th, 19th, and 20th of that year. And again, probably one of the best times I've ever had in my life. That was just an amazing time. And yeah, so found out about where Salem's Lot was shot from this magazine. I put it with this one. Now I got this at Sinister Creatures is Fangoria number 4. And this is a really cool magazine as well. This one, so it's got Mr. Reginaldo right there, Barlow. And we'll flip to a portion about it. It's got a color picture of Barlow right there, and right down there in the corner, and it's got a picture of the Marston house. I love that black and white shot right there. I would love to have like the print of that. That is just fucking awesome. Anything about this film is just awesome to me, but there's some really great pictures. I love this one of James Mason, of course, Mr. Straker, right by the house. And then you have a picture, it's like John Carpenter and Richard Kobritz, who was the producer, and the late great Toby Hooper right there. And then, of course, Barlow and Lance Kerwin, or Mark Petrie right there. So it's really, really cool. And here's some other great pictures. This is actually, I have this picture here in the room. And in this one, David Soul, Bed Mears, is wearing his glasses. And the picture I have, he's not wearing his glasses. Of course, you have Kenneth McMillan, late great Kenneth McMillan, and the late great Fred Willard, who just passed away last year. So these great people that are gone. But this is a really cool magazine. This Horror Hound, this is from 2014. It's all dedicated to Stephen King. It's right there. And this image right here of, I just love that. It's of Ralphie Glick, of course, Ron Scribner, awesome guy who I got to meet at the 40th anniversary event. Yeah, what an awesome guy. But yeah, this has a really cool fold up right here. I should find a place to put this, but I don't want to wreck the magazine. I really love Horror Hound. I used to have a couple subscriptions to it, but I need to renew my subscription. But there he is right there, little Ralphie Glick. Love this one. And then this one was really cool because this was another Horror Hound. This was from 2010, and this is the one where Sean Clark, of course, everyone knows Sean Clark, I think it was Two Heads podcast with him and Christopher Nelson. He actually did a Horror's Hallowed Ground article on going to Ferndale, which was really cool. So it was through this and the help of Salem's Lot Then and Now, Ian Bolton's site. He also runs the Facebook page on Salem's Lot, showcasing where all the locations were, because there was a few that I missed when I went there for a couple times. In fact, one where I mistook Jason Burke's house for a different house that was the wrong house. But yeah, this one sort of breaks down. It's got all the images of different locations in town. Really, really cool. And here you got the Marston house, images of the Marston house and the facade that was built over it right there. So yeah, really, really cool. So just some Salem's Lot magazines, just looking through some of this stuff I haven't looked through in a while. Been kind of busy and just haven't had the time to come in here and just sort of pull some of this stuff off the shelf and take a gander at it. This other magazine, this is The Dark Side. I love this image right here. And this actually includes excerpts from Tony Earnshaw's Studies in Film on Salem's Lot, which is a book that's very hard to get. And it's one I got when it first came out. And that was going back to 2014. I remember finding out about the book in 2013, because at the time I was trying to do like a book about Salem's Lot, and then I saw that this massive book was going to be coming out about the movie and interviews and things like that, and all kinds of everything that I always wanted. When I was a kid, I just wanted a Salem's Lot book so bad, and there wasn't a Salem's Lot book outside of the novelization, but this one is just awesome. And this is the Studies in Film. I did a review of this when I first got it, so going back to, I think it was spring of 2014 when this came out, and this thing goes for big bucks now. But it is an awesome book, and it encompasses everything you would want to know about the movie. It's got some fantastic images. I don't want to wreck it. It actually has parts of the screenplay. Yeah, so you get right here. Yeah. So just really, really cool book. Oh, sounds like Gomez is trying to come in. Let's open it up. Come on in, bud. My little curious kitty. Where's Gomez? He doesn't like my door closed, so he will knock on the door if he wants in. So what else can I show? Like I said, this is kind of very impromptu. My first hardback copy of the book is right here. Now my grandmother gave me this in for Christmas 1987, and I remember Christmas vacation that year. I was in Catholic school, so I was in 8th grade. I just remember laying in my room and reading this, and yeah, it's a book that I've read 3 times. I need to go back and read it again. My friend Richard over at Nightmares Tears, anyone? My buddy, he used to have a site called Are You Into Horror? I've talked about him many times, and he just did a review on the book. He said revisiting it wasn't, he said the book was a little bit boring, and it wasn't as great as he remembered it, but yeah, I need to check it out again and reread it before the new movie comes out. I have a lot of soft paperback copies of the book as well. Let's see what we got here. Now, this is the first copy of the book I've ever had, and as you can see, it is completely screwed up. It's got I have all kinds of, it's just falling apart. So it's barely, the spine is completely gone. As a kid, I didn't really read this too much. I loved the pictures of it. So I carried it kind of around with me, especially as I got to be more of a fan of Salem's Lot as I got a little bit older. It wasn't until I was 13 when my grandmother gave me that hardback copy of it that I really read the book. Yeah, there's lots of pictures in here. There's actually this picture of Susan and Ben in the little hangout. And, there was pictures in the novel that I at one point had taped up here in the room. But yeah, it's pretty much a done deal. And then in 2019, I bought a newer, a better, more complete copy of this book, of this release of the book that was coinciding with the miniseries dropping on November the 17th of 1979, and then the following November the 24th of 1979 for part 2. But as you can see, this one is in much better shape. And yeah, so I have this one. I'd actually bought this copy in Ferndale in 2001, the year that I got engaged at a bookstore that they had in town. I think it's still, yeah, it's $4, so it was $4 to buy this one. Got that one in Ferndale. And then this copy was one of the last new covers for the book, so I bought it in paperback. I don't know if people have seen this. I got this with, it was a T-Villain shirt. It was a baseball tee, or a raglan, I think they call them. But this was the image that's on the shirt, and they sent you a pre-postcard, and it just says visit Salem's Lot, and says you'll enjoy Mr. Barlow and he'll enjoy you. And I just love that. And just Salem's Lot, Maine. It's got images of Mike Ryerson, Straker, Marjorie Glick, Ralphie Glick, Ben Mears, and Barlow, and then it has the Marston House up in the corner. Just love that. And then I don't know if people are aware of the card set. It's a picture card series that Russell Waggis did. I did a review of these last year when I got them, and they're absolutely fantastic. I haven't looked at them in a while, but he just did a phenomenal job on these. And I don't know if he's still selling these, but just look at that. And each card has a little bio on the back. I mean, it's really, really cool. And haven't looked at these in a while. Yeah, these are just fucking great. It's awesome right there. And Russell's a great guy, and I don't know if he's still making these. I know these sold really well, but yeah, I just happened upon these, and I was just like, these look great, and I just said, I'm gonna buy some of these, and found them on Etsy, and it was one of the best purchases I've ever made. Just absolutely fantastic. There, and some other. Yeah, so I got these last April, right before my birthday, and yeah, I couldn't just. Absolutely love this set. One of my favorite Salem's Lot things that I have. Like I said, I don't know if he's still making these things, but they are friggin' amazing. Get that all sealed up. And the last thing I want to talk about is something that I asked my wife for Christmas this year. So I don't know if people saw it, but on the 17th of November, which was celebrating the 42nd anniversary of Salem's Lot, David Soul, who hasn't really talked about Salem's Lot very much, he actually did a video just talking about his experiences making the movie, and it's fucking incredible. And I'll put a link down below to it because I was just blown away by it. I had no idea that it was taking place, and then I saw somebody posted it on one of the Salem's Lot boards. It was either Victims of Salem's Lot or Salem's Lot Then and Now. I can't recall which one it was, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, I gotta watch this. And I was just blown away by it. You know, how candid he was, and he did it really fun. You know, it was almost like Barlow was in the room with him. I mean, they used clips from the film, and he talked about pretty much everybody that he worked with and just the experiences of being in Ferndale and everything. And it was so much fun to watch, and he had autographed pictures that you could buy from his website, and he kind of plugged his website a little bit, and I ended up getting one, and it's probably not going to arrive until next year. That's what it looks like from the webmaster on the page where you go to get the autographs. It says that they're probably not going to be shipping out until January, but that's cool. But I'm just going to be so grateful that he does personalize them and everything. You know, I just happened to get one after the sale had already taken place, so I'm really excited to get that. I mean, it's a shame I didn't get to meet him, and it's a shame that he couldn't make the 40th anniversary event. I thought that would have been really cool. I had also heard that Julie Cobb, who played Bonnie, was supposed to be at that event, but for some reason I don't know what happened. Yeah, I wish that David Soul could have been there, but you know, I was just happy to meet Ron Scribner, Ralphie Glick. That was just an awesome experience. So yeah, nothing real fancy today, nothing real special. Just wanted to sort of just chill, and thought I'd just talk about some stuff as I pull it out of my shelf here, and talk about some Salem's Lot things that I have here in my collection. Thanks so much everyone for stopping by. Let me know what you guys think about some of the stuff I showed. Like I said, there was no real rhyme or reason to this. I just thought I'd turn on the camera and talk. So appreciate everyone's support. Thanks so much again, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy, stay scared as always, and remember, you can do nothing against the master. Hey fellow Fright Fiends, just want to say thank you again for supporting BoogeyMan Ben's Horror Zone. If you're brand new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell notification so you're updated every time I drop a new video. I typically do this once or twice a week with new content. I've been doing this for over 11 years, and the horror genre is a passion of mine, and it really means a lot to me that I can share that passion with all of you guys. Thanks so much again for the support, and I'll talk to you again later. Take it easy, stay scared as always.